All right, everyone, this is Doc Williams, and today we're going to be talking about testing for your copy and conversion. Now, as we go through this is going to be based on other lessons you've done in the Branding 101 course and allowing us to articulate and scale or build on the foundation of what we have done in past assignments to get to the next level in your copywriting and really branding and anything you want to do in digital marketing. So, we're going to talk about two things that we have done before and then how that makes up really getting better at copy. Okay. And the reason we're doing it and the order we're progressing is there's a lot of people that will tell you other things and copy should be done X, Y, and Z. And they're just simply not true on a smaller scale. I know that sounds really pessimistic. But the problem is most copywriting or copywriting techniques that you hear about are it's based on volume. It's based on an average of things that happen industry wide, on things that happen when you're having things already in this type of funnel over here. The problem is when you're creating your own brand or you're doing things that are in a very niche market, those things do not apply. So it's important to understand that we're giving you the building blocks on starting small, testing, understanding what you're doing with your audience, and then when you have the volume, you can scale appropriately. So let's go right into this. What are we going to look at? Okay, so first we're going to go into the principle of phoning a friend. Now, this is one of the first aspects that we had in the Branding 101 in around level 2, where we said, hey, go and describe to your friend either Brand Factory Inc., the one that produced this course, or your idea. Phone a friend. Ask them, are they interested in, well, first you're telling them about your concept or the business, and then you're asking them, would you like to buy? Now, that allows you to understand the thought process very quickly of what you're missing, what you need to explain, all of those things. Now, the reason it's still a telltale sign is because your friends are going to be a lot nicer, hopefully, to you than people that don't know you. People that are on the internet from other countries, other backgrounds, maybe even different states that have no allegiance to you are not going to give you the time of day or try to figure out what you're trying to say on the page. You have to be purposeful. You have to have the right language locked in for you to be effective. Now, this comes into there's buzzwords of A/B testing and all of these things. They are excellent things, but make sure you're not being too quick to not understand how you can test appropriately A/B testing. Now, your A/B testing should still focus on your target demographic, and you're going to be seeing at a high level, is this something that is going to convert? Now, let's break this down. Let's make this very, very simple. A lot of times when A/B test, people are like, well, we're going to try long form and short copy, right? So you can do a long sales page versus a short landing page. Okay, that can work. But first, you have to understand what is the intention level? Where are the stages of awareness? Are the two people the same stages of awareness? Are you asking them the same thing to buy? Is it the same price point? Now, the reason we're bringing back all of those different things is it's important to note when you go through this process, when you're doing A/B testing, you're only changing one thing during your A/B test. A/B test changing only one thing. Okay, that could be message, that could be call to action, that could be price, etc. A/B testing, you're only changing one thing. And I'll add one other thing too. It might be a headline. Okay, the reason it's important is because if you're changing a bunch of things at once, it's just like the scientific method. If you go back and you're changing all of these things in your hypothesis, or if you're changing things in your hypothesis stays the same, you won't know what is going on. You won't have a control element if you're changing multiple things. It's important to note when you're doing A/B testing that you're understanding clearly what you're doing, what your hypothesis, what your outcome is going to be. And also, too, you have to find out from the company, the brand, the person, what is their conversion? What is conversion classified to them? Because for larger companies, conversion can be a 30-day trial. It can be someone opting into a lead gen. That's not the same as sales. That's not the same as a reoccurring customer. Everyone is different. And every business and pipeline is totally different. The problem when most people see this is they think all businesses are having this type of funnel. But to tell you the truth, when you're starting with most businesses, small and medium size, the business might have kinks in these, in this funnel, right? This might be a little bit smaller, the evaluation or the intention. One of these things might not be even as you're going through this funnel. You're going to be constantly evaluating this. And looking at what's happening allows you to be better, but it's not a perfect fit. You have to continually change. So we're going to give you an example real quick in things that possibly, although copy is great, there are tons of other considerations to think about. We'll give an example of Brand Factory, and we'll give an example of what's going on with other brands perhaps later on. So the first thing is volume game. Okay. So first of all, how many visitors does a website have? And we're going to say per month. Now, to do that, you have to make sure that no matter if you're getting 10 visitors a month, 2,000 visitors a month, the most important thing is getting the right type of visitors reaching the page. And you have to know the referral source. So we'll give an example of for what we've done in the past, right? So first of all, we use Capturely, so it allows us to see what's happening on any given day, what's happening, right? Now, for us, this isn't, a huge amount at all. Some people have thousands a day, but we're focused on referral source. Now, if we look at this right here, we have what's happening with unique page views. We're only getting about 397. Hustle and Flowchart freebie is still getting about 110. We're not counting these later on. We're going to count this one later. We'll talk about this later. But the reason these two are the highest is we're on a podcast here, and the type of traffic was totally different than the regular page. Well, what does that do? Well, the intention changes completely. Now, we can look at this data and we say, well, okay, that's true, but I'm not sure if I'm convinced. Well, we can actually look at the heat map and we can look at the recordings to see based on um, those, if that's correct. So let's take a look at first. Okay, right off the bat, we're not even playing with this, right? So we have visits right here, which is the main page. We have 440 clicks. Again, that's us testing different things. So keep in mind those aren't full numbers that are great. But also too, what we have is we can filter, of course. We can filter out, device and all that kind of stuff here. But look at the flow chart in Freebase. We have 53 visits. We have 42 clicks. 53 and 42. Now, why is this important? Number one, the page is really short, but also it's coming from a very specific group. And look at the heat right there. It's exactly where we want them to go. Right? They're going Gary Vee 2.0 model. It's going to go back to the same thing. But and why is this so important? Because the level of intention is totally different. The only reason that they're on this freebie page is they've already listened to a podcast from us for almost an hour and 20 minutes. Look at the conversion rate of those two. Look at the conversion rate. Now, If we're still not sure about it, we can look at the recordings as well. Now we're going to look at first ones that are just a regular one. We'll just see, okay, going to the page, what do they do? Loading. Speed this up for a minute. Yeah, they're just going through the page and they're not doing much. And of course, we have all these recordings. Look at the difference when we have hustle and flow charts. First of all, we can already see the time is extended with hustle and flow charts. They're several minutes. They're clicking right immediately at the download. It's not even close. Going to another page. 43 minutes. The reason they're probably, look at that. They're going to multiple pages all at once. And so they're spending so much time because they're going through all this, right? Intention. Intention. So when we're talking about awareness and prospecting, because our referral source is so good, they're already going through stage one very quickly. And now they're qualifying leads and they're going through all these things are very, very good. And they're getting closer to the initial meeting. Now, the question is, how are we going to view the conversion? Well, again, it's based on what we want them to do. Now, for us right here, we want them to get on the phone call. At this time, the conversions have stopped there. We have either gotten um, oh yeah. So that's a good thing too. We've gotten 110 people that have become have actually downloaded the lead generation, the Gary V 2.0. Out of the 110, none have converted. The lead gen gives them information, but that is not directing them to act. So what is that telling us? That means we have to maybe now reach out to them and find out why is it stopping there. They're becoming leads, but the initial meeting is not happening. Versus if we look at, I have the numbers here. We have the quiz. The initial quiz that we had a conversion rate of about 18%. When we put in the new quiz, the concise quiz, we have a conversion rate of 31%. Okay. Out of the quizzes, it's asking us to go to the discovery. It's still not happening. Still not happening. Versus let us do it for you. This section right here, let us do it. That one, when they're clicking here, it's a lot higher. And our conversion rate is over 70% of them to complete it. So having a lead gen of different pieces and they're going through this, the application for the discovery call, that is what has been changing. That has been the conversion point. So again, how do we know this? We're looking at data right here. And this can be done through Capturely. This can be done through Google Analytics and seeing this. I just like this because we can go a lot deeper. We can see what's happening very quickly on a dashboard. We can also set up, funnels if we want to see. We can put acquisitions based on what's happening to them. But the bottom line is that we know that that button for them to apply, that is what's getting them on the phone. Versus the other ones, we're getting leads, we're getting conversions, but we're not getting customers. And we're going through this to show you in real time what we're doing to show how we're changing over time. Now, our offer has gotten a lot better. We had another offer where we get people opt in, they wouldn't even finish in setting up the course because we made it a lot easier. And when they click the button, it's for them to sign up. we're looking at their behavior, and so that has gotten better. Remember, as you're doing A/B tests, it's important to understand what's happening, what is going on in the full funnel, and seeing the behavior of the client or the potential customer, and then adjusting. So the next portion, what we're going to do is we're going to now reach out to the 110 people that opted in and see if they need help and what's going on. Now remember, what kind of business is Brand Factory? Brand Factory is a boutique agency that are helping people, but the services start several $100s a month. It's not made for startups, or it's not made for ones that are just doing this as a hobby. We have courses, but our courses are a lot cheaper. They're one-time fees. So the type of client we want changes. It changes for what we're trying to do. So just giving you an idea of these are all of the steps to keep in mind as we're going and trying to reach different clients, as we're trying to make a difference and go from there. If you have any questions, please let us know. Continue to test, continue to work on your copy. But again, it comes back to the fundamentals. It's always good to be doing A/B tests. It's always good to be trying all these other things. But the larger principles of copywriting, it's done by two people, I really feel. Number one, ones that have a lot of big data, or ones that have not done it in the field and they're only talking on concept. I'm just going to go and say one thing really quickly. My favorite person in paid search is Amy Hepton. We've done courses, we've done Q&As with her. She's awesome. She taught me how to do ads when I first got started. She's awesome, but she's one of the best in the business. And she does this for clients that have millions of dollars. She has done this for over 15 years. Now, she doesn't use paid ads to get her own clients. And there's a reason behind it. She is looking for a very specific type of client, and her qualification process is through word of mouth or situational, as she's doing trainings or demos or whatever. And then she is then going through an application process, because if she goes and tries to say she's this kind of ad agency and spends thousands of dollars, she's not going to get the right kind of client she wants. So you have to understand too, even ones that are really good at what they're doing, they have to look at how are they positioning, what are they doing? Because if depending on how much money you want and the type of business you want, promoting and doing different types of ad and copy strategy, it's different than just what a textbook says. So hopefully this helps you in your pursuit of copywriting this first phase. You have to get good at phoning a friend and understanding the behavior of a client before you can scale up. And again, as you're doing copy, you'll know that you're good, because as you go through these things, people are going to say, shut up, take my money, and then you've got a winner. So hopefully this helps. Talk to you soon in the next lesson.